Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dice Commando YouTube channel. I'm Andrew, with you here as always. This is the Commando Cast, a video cast about all things Star Wars Destiny. This video and others like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. Please show your support with a like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any new videos. If you want to get involved with the channel, consider becoming a channel member. There are many benefits to channel membership, including access to our Discord, exclusive deck tech and strategy videos, and the opportunity to help create channel content. I want to sincerely thank all our channel members, as I truly couldn't do this without your support. You guys rock. Go Commando. This week was the Seeking Answers release. Really cool stuff in that set. A lot of deck building options. And this weekend is the big traditional release tournament. Now, there's a lot of ways to go with this set, so we certainly don't know everything out there. However, there's some stuff that I suspect people are going to be wanting to play right out of the gate. So I'm looking at my top picks for what to play this weekend. Hey there, Star Wars Destiny folks. Welcome back to Dice Commando and the Commando Cast, and happy Destiny Friday. Feels like we've been talking with each other all week because of the big set release, and that's right. Tomorrow, Saturday the 7th, is the big release tournament. Now, I will not be in attendance because every year I support a charity event. I work with the Humane Society of Southwest Washington, so I will be at that event tomorrow doing the walk-run thing with my family and the dog. So I will not be at the tournament, but you guys are going to have a great time tomorrow, and I'll be jealous, and I'll be watching to see what crazy things you kids come up with. So, as I mentioned in the intro, it's no secret that this set has a lot of different build options. Now, there are some things that I expect to see in huge popularity tomorrow, which I think will swing some things also in huge popularity to try and counter them. But you know that you're going to have a good percentage of the field, especially the playtesters and stuff like that who are in it, who are going to have those crazy creative decks that they're either trying to show off or they're trying to check out. And I'm really looking forward to all of it, right? It's going to be a really good time to see what people do. So if you haven't yet already signed up for that, go out and do it. It's pretty early in the morning for me, depending on where you're on the world, different time though, right? So, but yeah, check it out. It'll be a great time. All right. I mean, the first big thing is Rey, right? I mean, there's really no secret that she looks really, really, really good, and she looks hella fun, right? So I expect to see a lot of her. There are several different ways to build her, but most of them involve rolling her out and punching people in the face with a whole bunch of dice, right? I mean, you're going to make some shields. Shotos are going to be a part of that, right? And you do your thing, right? It's a great way to wake up and just roll some dice and just go with it, right? And she looks a ton of fun. She's got the built-in healing. She's going to be very, very, very strong. Now, it's no secret, you've heard a lot of people talking about it, that her weakness is roll in the mud, which I think will push a lot of people into Red Hero, and I think that it's not cracking any eggs to say that, Yellow Hero and Red Hero go pretty well together. They have for a while, and I think they still will. So I think you're going to see a fair number of people in that realm as well, because there are people, if you're not running Rey, you're going to be trying to run Roll in the Mud, right? I mean, I think that's pretty clear. Now, does that mean it's going to be a hero-only meta? No, not what I'm saying at all. There's a lot of really strong stuff on the villain side, absolutely. I think somebody out there is going to be trying to make the cap ships work, right? Some sort of three-wide thing. But I think if you by and large look at much of the field, it's going to be Rey, stuff that counters Rey really well. And then you're gonna have the fun stuff, right? I am looking really heavy. I think Black Kirsten looks a lot of fun. I don't know how viable if you compare him to Rey, I don't know how viable he is in terms of right, because he still has the same. I mean, he's not as weak against Roll in the Mud, right? But he's still only one dude. I do expect at least one or two people, probably not a large number of people, but I do expect somebody to show up with the Wolf Waro build where they try to go hero Kirsten, right, with either the med kits or the Vengefuls, and that'll be a lot of fun to see how that does and how they build that and how it works. So I do expect somebody to do that. I also, if I was playing, I'd run Rey, or I'd probably bring Sabine, right? Sabine looks a lot of fun to me, really speaks to me. I would go red-yellow on that. I would probably run Wedge. She looks really good with her redeploys. Her gun redeploying at Elite into a Wedge with his ship on the table and some other, like her Westars and some Westars. Seems pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Mando pop back up with the Armorer, or, there's some other stuff out there that could potentially work with him, but Armorer seems pretty good. And, so, I'm sitting here saying, here's what you're going to see this weekend, and let's be honest, we don't really know, right? There's a lot of different ways we could go. But, I think generally in these type of tournaments, right, the early meta tournaments, you want to run stuff that's relatively straightforward, right? At least that's my preference. And, rolling a bunch of guns will do that, right? You've got your pilots. Somebody probably runs Zori Benthic, right? Big old Benthic. That one looks like a lot of fun. I don't know if anybody will, right? Guy Love got some tricks. I don't know if anybody will run Guy Love with the new plot. It's possible. There'll be enough people there that maybe somebody will do it, but I don't know so much about Guy Love. So what I wanted to do is pull up because there's a lot of stuff on the villain side too, and a lot of different angles to play that. And what I wanted to do was just go ahead and bring up the set and just kind of go down the list. Now, we're not going to go through each card. That's not the point here. But to go through the list and look at, some stuff. Now, around that, the witches, I think, right, Mother Talzin specifically, I think the witches probably are going to take people time to develop how that's going to work. That's going to be a little more control-y-esque strategy, I believe. So I don't know that you'll see that many witches. You might run up against a witch deck, maybe depending on if it's going well for them or not, and to you as well. But I don't know that you're going to see a bunch of those. I do think Snoke will make his way back in some 3-wide decks, specifically with the new plot, right? No room for failure. There's no room for failure on that, and that thing is really good if the deck works right. So I think there's a lot of potential for that. I don't know whether they go like a 3-wide with that, or probably you don't. Probably you go 2-wide with it because it's a 3-point plot and you're going to want to maximize character dice, right? So that's a really interesting one to see what people do there. As far as Nute goes, there's probably going to be a capital ship deck or two out there. Aside from that, I don't know. I don't know that we're going to see that much in terms of yellow villain. Like I expect somebody, like a couple people, to be playing Kirstan, but I don't know. Like I think if you want to play him early, you probably just go to Rey early, I would think. But prove me wrong, people. Prove me wrong. He looks freaking. I cannot wait to play him and get him on the table. As far as the blue hero stuff, right? We do know that we already talked about Rey. Yoda seems really, really, really strong. That special moving stuff around. Yoda seems pretty scary, and he's a pretty decent price point for what he does in terms of moving him with a plot or something like that. So we'll see what people come up with on that. That special is potentially very, very, very strong, right? So we will see on that one. Another one I wanted to talk about specifically. I don't know if Kallus will. I suspect Wookiee will be playing Kallus and Racco probably, and maybe somebody else. I don't know if we'll see a ton of him yet. I think that he's another guy that probably people will develop into and will be really strong. Leia, though. So let's talk Leia Padme Mill. Seems scary, seems good, seems quite legit. So I think you're going to see that as well. I don't know if we're going to see... Let's go ahead and skip down. We'll come back to yellow-blue, but I wanted to skip down specifically to Garza, just because to me she represents charm. I think that I don't expect to see a ton of charm decks. You're going to see some, but I don't expect to see a ton of them, just because I think that again, it's kind of in the same bucket in my head as like the Night Sisters decks and stuff. It's like it's still early. Probably want to figure out how things work so you can build your control deck into that. So will we see a couple decks with charm? Probably, but I don't know that. I think that if you're trying to pick up the set and run with it, I think that charm probably you need to see how the whole thing plays out first before you dive in on a 6-round tournament, right, and potentially have a really bad day with a deck that doesn't work. So going back up to yellow hero, right, Sabine, I already talked about her, huge fan. The armor, I do think, fits pretty well in with Mando. And somebody was saying Ahsoka as well, so that could be interesting to see her on the table with those pairings. Zorii, I think, I don't know if anybody runs mono with Benthic there, but she seems pretty good. I think that probably you end up seeing her in the end. You probably end up seeing her single die with Ace Pilots and Wedge and somebody else to maximize. You can't do her with Iden. We figured that on the release stream, but I think you're going to see her single die, I think, with Ace Pilots and some sort of piloting deck, right? And it may not end up being Ace Pilots because you don't technically need it, but I think that I think you see her single die in like some 3-wide piloting deck. So that'll be interesting to see those as well. I think there's a lot of options on that, and we'll see what people come up with. The Owen Baruz deck, unless somebody's got something super spicy, I don't think we're going to see that. And then last one, who I think we will see in a fringe number of decks, is Boba. Boba looks on paper pretty good. That'll be interesting to see practically how he plays into everything. I think you end up, you don't have to play him with another color, but you probably end up playing him mono yellow effectively because you're going to have so many yellow cards in your deck. So it'll be interesting to see who people pair with him. The obvious thematic pairing obviously is Ming-Na. Not Ming-Na. Fennec Shand. Same person, I guess. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. So I'm going to be very curious to see how the Boba decks develop over time because nothing's popping to me right away. So we'll see. And then basically that is it. That is it running down. Oh, and then the card that is potentially one of the best cards in the set is Tusken Camp, I think. So I think that, running yellow, it's a neutral card, so you can run yellow, and I think that that's definitely going to be the cornerstone of some nasty stuff. So anyway, I'm very excited to see what you crazy kids come up with this weekend and tracking it as I'm, off doing my thing, but, I always hate to miss a tournament, but, good stuff, and you got to support the causes you believe in. So to that end, if you're not playing and for whatever reason you're in the Portland, Oregon area, come out, support a good cause, entry fee, give us to charity. It's good stuff. So anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. I really hope you guys all have a great time this weekend. It's been great hanging out and theory crafting and seeing all the excitement around Destiny as we always do when these sets drop. So we ain't dead yet, folks. We've got a great community keeping alive. Thank you to the ARH teams for keeping this up. The art looks great. We got custom art donated. The set looks a lot of fun. So many different ways to build. We're going to have a lot of fun with this one. So anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in, and go Commando.